felt trapped in a job where your efforts were overlooked, your voice ignored, and your potential undervalued? Today I'm going to share a story that will inspire you to assert your value and break free from the invisible chains holding you back. Welcome to English Luminaries with Sahar, the place where the language meets life. If you find this story illuminating, take a moment to show your support in every way that truly matters. And if you feel that someone else needs to hear this, don't keep it to yourself. Pass it along. Let's dive into a tale of resilience, transformation, and the courage to reclaim your destiny. Let me take you back to a time when I was working in a draining, oppressive environment. The office wasn't just a place for work. It was a hotbed of mediocrity, where unspoken hierarchies reigned and personal growth was stifled. Despite my unwavering dedication, I was just another cog in the machine, invisible to those in power. One defining moment stands out vividly. There was a major team event that everyone was talking about. The kind of ritualistic celebration that's supposed to make everyone feel like part of a unified team. Yet, when I walked past the room, I realized I had been excluded. No invitation, no recognition, nothing. I felt like I was a spiral of despair, watching the team bond while I was left on the outside looking in. I had been giving my all, yet my contributions were taken for granted. My hard work felt like it was being swallowed by a black hole of indifference. But then something profound happened. As I sat alone in that surreal office, a sudden wave of clarity washed over me. I wasn't just being overlooked. I was diminishing my own worth by staying in a place that didn't appreciate me. I realized that my unrelenting pursuit of approval had blinded me to the fact that I was selling myself short. That night, I made a decision that would forever change my trajectory. I pulled the plug on that chapter of my life and walked away from a job that had drained my vitality. The next morning, I sent my resignation. As I left that building, I felt like I was emerging from the fog-free, untethered, and open to endless possibilities. Since that moment, I've reclaimed my autonomy, and my journey has been a testament to the power of trusting your instincts. Every step forward has been filled with purpose, as I now seek opportunities that align with my values. Sometimes the hardest part isn't the decision to leave. It's realizing you deserve more than what you've settled for. It takes courage to stand up for your worth and to step away from places that don't nourish your potential. As promised, let's break down the vocabulary and expressions in this story. Draining, oppressive environment. This is an expression which means a work setting that is emotionally or mentally exhausting and stifling. For example, the constant pressure and a lack of support created a draining, oppressive environment that made it hard to stay motivated.
It's just so painful and draining.
The house with only us here was unbearably oppressive for him.
Hotbed of mediocrity. A place where average or subpar work is the norm. For example, the office had become a hotbed of mediocrity where no one was pushing themselves to excel.
The Islamic State is not exactly a hotbed of scientific expertise.
You join the sacred timeline, and you end your days of insignificance and mediocrity.
Unspoken hierarchies. This expression refers to systems of power or influence in a group that are not officially acknowledged but are clearly understood. For example, despite the team being supposed equals, there are unspoken hierarchies that determined who had the most influence.
Rather than allow these unspoken thoughts to die with me, I've chosen to record them here for you.
For God's sake, Stephen, there's hierarchies even in nature, as you've often said yourself.
Personal growth was stifled. This expression means the development and advancement in one's career or skills was suppressed. For example, in that company, personal growth was stifled by rigid procedures and a lack of creative freedom.
I feel stifled in there.
It's what you are that's being stifled.
Unwavering dedication. This expression means showing commitment or effort without hesitation or doubt. Her unwavering dedication to her job kept her working long hours, despite the lack of appreciation.
I'm sure Hank appreciates your unwavering devotion.
Well, I think dedication should be rewarded.
Cogs in the machine. This idiom means individuals who are seen as just part of a larger system, often with a little personal significance. For example, the employees were just cogs in the machine, working endlessly without any sense of individual accomplishment.
Maybe just accept the fact that we'll always be cogs in the machine.
Wow, just cogs in the machine, you know?
Invisible. This adjective means not seen or acknowledged, overlooked. For example, no matter how hard I worked, I felt invisible in the eye of my superiors.
I don't send you to kill. I send you to be invisible.
Ritualistic celebration. This expression means a formal, almost obligatory celebration that is expected to be a part of a routine. For example, the ritualistic celebration was more about appearance than actual recognition.
These murders are ritualistic sacrifices.
Blackwood's method is based on a ritualistic mystical system that's been employed by the Temple of the Four Orders for centuries to fully
exclude. This is an adjective which means deliberately left out or made to feel unwelcome. For example, I was excluded from the team celebration despite contributing to the project.
What if we get excluded from things?
And are we excluded from the kingdom of heaven unless we accept the one true truth?
Spiral of despair. This is an expression which means a negative cycle or pattern of thoughts that worsens over time. After the exclusion, I felt like I was in a spiral of despair, unable to break free from my negative feelings.
We are in a spiral of environmental decline.
Her strong, fleshy legs drove me to ecstasies of despair.
Black hole of indifference. This is an expression which means a situation where all efforts or emotions are ignored or unnoticed. For example, my contributions were swallowed by a black hole of indifference, leaving me feeling worthless.
We might get sucked into a black hole of embarrassment that we never get out of.
Religion is a matter of indifference to this office.
Diminishing my own worth. This is an expression which means undervaluing yourself or not acknowledging your true potential. For example, by staying in that toxic work environment, I was diminishing my own worth.
Her immune system diminishing her ability to heal and breaking down her organ systems.
It reminded me of my own worth.
Unrelenting pursuit of approval. This expression means a constant, tireless effort to gain validation from others. For example, I had been caught in an unrelenting pursuit of approval, trying to gain the respect of people who didn't appreciate me.
Then I will kill your daughter in front of you and make you share in the unrelenting pain you've given me.
Selling yourself short. This expression means underestimating or undervaluing yourself or your own abilities. For example, I was selling myself short by staying in a job that didn't value my potential.
He'd be mad at you the same way I am because you are selling yourself short.
And if you're telling yourself that, you're selling yourself short.
Pulled the plug. This expression means to end something abruptly or to stop something from continuing. For example, I finally pulled the plug on that job and decided to seek something better.
We were just getting on top of it when this insurance bloke pulled the plug on us.
Listen, Decker, they pulled the plug on me.
Drain my vitality. This expression means to take away energy, enthusiasm, or life force. For example, the toxic work environment drained my vitality, leaving me feeling exhausted and demotivated.
I think of the music I might have written, if not for the guilt which has murdered my vitality all these years.
Emerging from the fog. This expression means gaining clarity or understanding after a period of confusion or uncertainty. For example, walking out of that office felt like emerging from the fog. I could finally see a clear path ahead.
That vision of the big winner somehow emerging from the last-minute pre-dawn chaos of a stale Vegas casino.
Reclaim your autonomy. This expression means regain control over your own life or decisions. For example, after quitting, I reclaimed my autonomy and started focusing on my personal and professional goals. Trusting your instincts. This expression means relying on your own judgment or gut feeling. For example, trusting my instincts led me to make the best decision for my future.
Like I said, you were trusting your instincts on that case, just like you're trusting them now.
I know it may not feel like you know what you're doing sometimes, but keep trusting your instincts.
Stand up for your worth, to assert your value and demand respect or recognition. For example, it's important to stand up for your worth and not settle for less than you deserve. Nourish your potential. This expression means to cultivate or develop your abilities or talents in a healthy and supportive environment. For example, I left my own job to find an environment where I could nourish my potential and grow.
We thank you for these bountiful gifts. May they nourish our body and soul.
What about you? Are you settling for less than you deserve? Don't wait for a sign. Take action today. Remember, trust your instincts. And as always, thanks for joining me here on English Luminaries with Sahar. If this story resonates with you, hit that like button and share this story with someone who really needs to hear it. And make sure to subscribe to continue your empowering journey.